It appears that Iowa Central is receiving first half. All right, and we are underway. JJ's on the whistle today. He'll be the referee taking care of this match. The kickoff bounces first, but it bounces right to Elliot Baz. Takes into first contact. We're going to call a forward pass from Victor Wong to Izzy. It's going to be a scrum down to St. Thomas. Again, we listed off the roster earlier, but again, your front row consists of Nathan Heath at loose head prop, Kamani McQueen at hooker, and Victor Wong at tight head prop. In the second row, we have Clayton Goddard and Zachary Schatz as the locks. We have Vanya as one flank, Izzy as another flank, and Elliot Baz rounding out your top 8. Sir's going to get control of the scrum right away. He's going to make sure he likes it before it comes together. Get it set, get it ready to go. Iowa Central is going to own this scrum. We're going to sneak out to the weak side. Got that ball snuck out to the wing. Mike Weldon took it for a run. Couldn't quite get the offload to Matt Barker. It's going to be a line out to St. Thomas. St. Thomas is going with a very unorthodox 2-man line out. They threw that ball to the first guy in the pod, or not even a pod. I'm not sure what that was. The first guy, Nate Heath, he let him know he was there. We're going to have a penalty advantage to St. Thomas University. That ball was kicked out by an offsides player. Iowa Central's back 10. St. Thomas looks as though they're going to run some pods. Going to tap this ball and get it going. That's Mike getting his first start of the day. Mike Epplett at fullback. Took that ball out of there, ran it up for about 15 meters. Oh. Willie Veal, the nice shove off. Got that ball spun out. Got the ball. Ani Mateto on the wing, kicked that. We got Richard and Willie Veal both on the chase. Richard picks that ball out of there. He's going to score it down for the first try for the Tritons today. 5-0, conversion attempt to come. Looks like Matthew Barker is going to be attempting the conversion here. He's about on the 15 of the far side. Seemed to be no problem for him. He slotted that with ease. 7-0. Tritons with the advantage over St. Thomas right away. St. Thomas appears to be kicking to the far side of the field. Switching up a little bit. Kind of a short kick. Clayton Goddard. He took that ball out of there and he ran it for 10 meters. Broke a couple tackles along the way. Richards getting the ball out to Matt Barker. Elliot Baz taking a banger off of the fly half there. He lost the ball forward. It is a St. Thomas advantage. Held up. Held up is the call, but it was a scrum advantage to St. Thomas. They're going to get that. They're going to be putting the ball in. Let's see if Iowa Central can remain dominant. There's another great scrum by Iowa Central. They're just going to blow St. Thomas off the ball today, so St. Thomas can't figure out what's going on in there. St. Thomas was able to get that ball out of the back. Iowa Central competed, but they got the hook in pretty quick. Looks like a knock on by St. Thomas, picked up by Ani Mateto. He's going to put another try in for the Tritons. It is going to be 12-0 before the conversion attempt here. Matthew Barker going down to attempt another conversion here. For those of you watching that might not be too familiar with how the scoring is in rugby, for each try, which is when a player carries the ball into what is known as the end zone in America and applies pressure from his body to the ball to the ground, that is worth 5 points. After that, the ball is brought straight out from where the placement was, and the kicker has to kick for the uprights, which is worth 2 points. That being said, Matt Barker did make that conversion very successfully. It is going to be 14-0, Triton advantage. It's going to be St. Thomas kickoff here. They appear to be coming back to this side of the field again. Vanya took that ball out of the air. There's an issue with counter-rucking. St. Thomas had a great counter-ruck. They took the ball there. Willie Veal came in with a strong tackle there, but it is St. Thomas ball within the 22-meter line. Another strong tackle by the Tritons. And a great counter ruck. St. Thomas advantage, though. Sir didn't like something he saw there. St. Thomas is going to try to go weak here. Whoa! Nathan Heath. That man ran straight into him, and Nathan Heath picked him up back in his old wrestling days. Thank goodness he brought him back to the ground safely before putting him down. That could have been very, very bad. He's gotten a few cards in the day for tackles quite like that, but he's learned his lesson over the last year he's been here and fixed that up a bit. We're going to have a scrum down to St. Thomas, sitting about the 10-meter line. Oh, I lied. This is going to be a scrum down to Iowa Central on our own 10-meter line. Look for a kick to try to get this ball out. Ani Mateto is on the hunt there. Made some contact, made him get that ball out of there. I can't quite see. I believe Iowa Central. It was just a hodgepodge of ball going backwards and people trying to dive for it, and what it comes to is a knock on by Iowa Central, scrum down to St. Thomas. Iowa Central with another strong push, but St. Thomas was able to hook that ball out. Looked like there was a little miscommunication on the back line for St. Thomas, and it led to a skip pass, and Ani Mateto came in with a cracking strike. I think they're going to call offsides on this. St. Thomas is electing a tap and go quickly. A perfect, clean poach by Elliott Baz. Richards going to kick that ball, clear it out. We've got a strong chase by Willie Veal here. St. Thomas on the sideline. Richard with the heads-up play on the out of bounds there. He took that ball. He got that ball in right away. There's going to be a penalty for diving over against St. Thomas to Iowa Central. It appears that Matt Barker is going to kick for touch, gain some field position here. A booming strike, perfectly placed. Perfectly placed. He's going to put him at the 5-meter line for a line out. Iowa Central is about 5 meters from another try here. It's going to be their throw-in off the penalty kick. Iowa Central is electing to go with a 4-man line out here. It's kind of a skip pass. Bounced off the ground a little bit there, picked up by Clayton Goddard, and then knocked forward. It's going to be a scrum down to St. Thomas, right about the 8-meter line. You've got to think going into the scrum, though. Tritons see the try zone right there, and they know they're pushing hard on the scrums. You got to think they're going to try to steal this and dot down another score. St. Thomas was able to get that out of the scrum. But TT flew out from the back line, disrupted play, got that ball and popped it to Ani Mateto for another try in the corner. That was a great heads-up play, great awareness. Good pace by TT here and Ani to be there in support. We're at 19-0 before the conversion attempt by Matthew Barker. We're about 13 and a half minutes into this match so far. Again, for those that might not know, 15s does consist of 2 40-minute halves. No timeouts, no breaks, just halftime. Matthew Barker did miss that one wide right. It was a great kick. It was a difficult one from the sideline over here. It's going to remain 19-0. Tritons are receiving ball. St. Thomas kicking in the near side of the field again. That was a great kick. Kamani took that out of the air with a nice jump. He's got some wheels on him. He plans on using them. He's also got some support on the outside. He had the right idea. Not the best execution, but it was a great idea. There's a penalty for something. I didn't quite see what happened there. There's a penalty for something. It's going to be St. Thomas ball. They're going to elect to kick for touch, but that ball is going to stay in. And you got some support back here. Richard decides to counter kick. That ball does go into the try zone. It's going to be a 22 drop. St. Thomas is going to try to go quick. They decide not to. They're going to kick it straight out. Animatato with a very impressive pooch kick. Ooh. He had the right idea. He got that ball. He passed it out. It was dropped, unfortunately. It's St. Thomas counter now. And St. Thomas wants to kick, try to gain some field position again. We got Nate, again, getting his first time start here. Got a sick mullet and a sweet stash and a great running ability. Willie Veal attempted to turn this corner here. Sir had penalty advantage to try, and he decided that wasn't gained. And it is Iowa Central penalty. Matthew Barker electing, instead of kick for post, which this would be a pretty easy kick for him, he's going to kick for touch, and he's going to give the forwards a chance to win this ball off a line out and put another try in. Victor Wong, starting hooker for the Iowa Central Tritons. I apologize. He's actually starting tight head prop for the Iowa Central Tritons. He's been throwing the ball for the Tritons since last year. He's got a good throw in there just over the head with a back jumper. But it was scooped up. Elliot Bass took that for a run. That was a great pass by Ani Mateto to TT, and TT dipped, ducked, and dived for a try there over on the far side of the field. It's going to be 24-0, Iowa Central advantage before the conversion attempt here. Looks like Matt Barker's going to take the conversion attempt as well. We got a break here. Today's broadcast of Triton Rugby is sponsored in part by Daniel Pharmacy, located in downtown Fort Dodge. Family owned since 1968. In 2000, Daniel's Pharmacy featured a Script Pro robot, adding automation, efficiency, and greater safety to all their patrons. Daniel's also provides home health care aids, health screenings, and flu shots. Stop in and visit the well-trained staff of Daniel Pharmacy on Central Avenue in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Again, thank you to those sponsors that sponsor Daniel Pharmacy. They've always been a fan of the program, even since before it started, and we really appreciate their support. Matthew Barker converting that kick, sitting at a 26-0 Tritons advantage. All right, we are 19 minutes into this match here. A deep kick by St. Thomas this time, taken by Richard, the scrum half. Given out to the 8-man Elliot Baz. He's going to weave through defense, take it in. Good strong ruck by the Tritons. Good ball possession. Victor Wong with a nice run. He's going to take a few defenders for a ride there before he decides to go down. Good strong ruck again. Ani Mateto got the ball again. on the sideline. He tried to keep that ball in, just throwing it back, try to keep it in touch. It looks like it went to St. Thomas, and St. Thomas was tackled and taken out of bounds. It's going to be a line out to Iowa Central, I believe. Looks like for the first time today, Iowa Central is electing to go with a full line out. They were running the 4-man for a while, now they're back up to a 7. A great throw. Izzy got the ball off the top there. Flung it back to a scrum half, Richard. And Richard's going to scramble for a little bit here. And he's going to step out of bounds. It is going to be a line out to St. Thomas. We'll see if St. Thomas is going to go with their 2-man setup again. Looks like they're going with that two-man setup again. They're going to go deep on this one. And that ball was not thrown in straight. Not straight on the line out. Iowa Central does elect to go with a scrum rather than their own line out. Okay. We're gonna call an offsides penalty on Iowa Central. That was great continuity in the back line. The fullback Nate decided to put a little boot up. The sir is calling Ani offsides on that, so it's a back 10 for Iowa Central. St. Thomas possession. Okay, looks like we're getting another 10 meters here. It appears that there was some talking. Sir wants to shut that down right away, understandably. Write down the talking penalty? Write it down, yeah. St. Thomas was trying to kick for touch, gained some field position. The ball stayed in again, though. The penalty was for offside. I don't think it was for the kick, though. I think it was for talking. Take your pick. All right. There was a knock-on by Iowa Central after that counter off the kick. It is going to be St. Thomas put in on the scrum. Iowa Central is dominating the push, but St. Thomas has a good hooker, and they're getting that ball to the back of the scrum very quickly, getting that ball out even with the pressure from the Tritons. However, it looked like there was a knock-on by the scrum half, so it is going to be Iowa Central put in on this one. Inside the 22-meter line, for those of you familiar with American football, not so much of the rugby, this would be like being in the red zone right now. Down deep, real close to the goal line. And Willie Veal turns on the wheels. And he's going to get in. He's going to get it a lot closer, make it easier kick for Matthew Barker. That was a great execution of just a hands ball in the back line. Getting that ball out clear to the wing. He had about 6 meters to work with. And he utilized every one of those, tiptoeing the sideline. For those of you that are familiar with the team, last year Willoughville played, and over the summer he actually stayed around campus, and he worked really hard in the weight room, really hard on cardio, conditioning, and learning to put his head down over the summer during sevens, and you can see that off-season work is really paying off for the Tritons when they have him out there at the wing. Matthew Barker with a conversion attempt. Successful. He is 4 for 5 on the day. We're at 33-0, Tritons advantage. St. Thomas kickoff to the near side of the field. That's a great kick, barely going 10, very high. St. Thomas was there to attempt to steal that ball. That was a very well contested ruck. It's going to be a I'm not entirely sure what the call was there, but it was an advantage to St. Thomas. It was just a very well contested ruck. That could have been any number of things that happened in there. With the penalty, they elected to give some sort of a drop kick effect, looking to try to chase that ball down, dot it down in the try zone. It was a very good idea. St. Thomas is unorthodox. They're giving us some looks that we haven't seen yet this year. But Tritons are adjusting well. Mike Wilden picked that ball up, and he took it for a little ride. Just got that ball spun out, and there was a knock on. It's going to be St. Thomas ball at the 22-meter line. St. Thomas almost got that ball out. Tritons are playing with a lot of aggression, a lot of passion in that pack today. They are pushing this ball, pushing the scrums back all day long. Got a bunch of workhorses in that setup. It's going to be a Iowa Central ball. Just drove over, couldn't get the ball out. I believe it was a knock on by the scrum half when he tried to pick it up. Either way, blue ball, set about the 22-meter line. Rich is going to put this in. We'll see what the Tritons elect to do. Strong boot by Matthew Barker, crossfield. Willoughville on the chase. That ball did go out of bounds. Getting quite a bit of field position there. That was a booming kick from about the 15-meter line all the way down to, well, it looks about 25 on the other side. St. Thomas line out there, electing to go with that two-man look again. Nathan Heath, instead of trying to go for that ball, he's just teeing up on the guy catching it. This is a very strange look. I've played rugby for 7, almost 8 years. I'm not sure I've ever seen that. It seems to be working, though. They're catching the ball. They're getting possession off of every line out they throw in. So there was a knock on by the Tritons, it appears. It'll be a scrum down to St. Thomas. St. Thomas was looking to do a quick 8-man pick there. A little fumble. Little fumble. They finally got the ball out. That ball was kicked. It was blocked by Willie Veal. He tried to play a little game of soccer, get that ball in the try zone. Somebody came on a nice angle, touched it down before he could. It's going to be a 22 dropout to St. Thomas. So on a 22 dropout, the ball has to touch the ground, then be kicked, and only travel a very minimal 1 meter, if that. That's what they tried to disguise a far kick as a they tried to disguise their small little nub-on kick there as a far kick, and they almost got away with it, but Victor Wong sniffed it out, and he tackled the guy right away, causing a knock-on. And it's going to be Iowa Central scrum down. Elliot Baz, the 8-man, got that ball out of the scrum. Willie Veal with some fancy footwork there. It looks like they're going to play a knock-on advantage to St. Thomas. The touchdown did throw the flag up, but JJ was on top of it, and he doesn't believe that went out. He's going to go advantage St. Thomas, no advantage gained. It's going to be a scrum down to the purple and white. So far this year, we have been blessed with some very high-quality refereeing. Today is no exception. JJ, I believe, is the head of the Iowa Rugby Union Referees Association. I'm not sure the proper name, so I apologize for that. Don't hate me. We had a scrum to Iowa Central, a scrum to St. Thomas. The sir did call that scrum spun before the ball got out, so it is going to be a re-scrum to St. Thomas again. That rule changed a couple years ago. Used to, when you would spin a scrum, it would be a turnover, just a scrum advantage turnover, so the other team would be able to put the ball in, but they changed that rule, try to create a little more safety in the scrum. So we have a re-put by St. Thomas. Iowa Central with another strong push, but St. Thomas was able to get that hook back. Looks like some ball handling errors in the back line led to Iowa Central scooping this ball up. But it was a knock-on, it appears. So it will be St. Thomas put for the scrum. We are sitting at 33-0 still. Tritons advantage. It's St. Thomas push here, but again in the get down in zone 4, also known as the red zone for American football fans. You start tasting the try and you want to get in there. But St. Thomas is having some moves right now. Unlucky offload, picked up by Tritons. TT with the scoop there. He had a great pressure on the back line, outmanned, and they still managed to play good defense and get it out. That ball's been spun out. Got a couple forwards back there. Strong counter by St. Thomas, though. Looks like a penalty advantage to St. Thomas. JJ is the sir is going to let them play that advantage out. And he decided no advantage gain. He's going to bring it back. Let him restart. It's going to be back 10 for Iowa Central. We have an injured player down here right now. He's going to shake it off. He's going to get back in the game. I'm being told that that was probably a high tackle was the issue there, which I could definitely see that happening. St. Thomas spinning that ball out. That appears to be their out center. Out center making a run across the field. Great support by the St. Thomas players there. It's gonna be a penalty advantage. It looked like Willie Veal was playing the ball on the ground there. It's gonna be a back 10 to Iowa Central, and then not back 10. There's a back 10, and then Iowa Central engaged in contact before they were back 10 and set off the quick tap. Sir JJ is going to have a few words with the captains here. Get this settled down. Get the game under control again. Looks like on this penalty, St. Thomas is going to get put on the board here with an attempt at penalty. In rugby, off a penalty, you do have a few options. You could tap and go, where you just tap it off your foot through the mark, retain possession. You could kick for touch to attempt a line out, or you can kick for posts, which is what St. Thomas is electing to do now. If converted successfully, this is worth 3 points. And that was wide. That is a live ball. That's a live ball. Live ball dotted down in the try zone by a team that did not carry it in there. Calls for a 22-meter drop. Matthew Barker put a high one in the air. It's gonna be a penalty advantage. Ani Mateto did hit that man in the air right there. St. Thomas was trying to go quick there with the tap and go. He did not go through the mark though. The sir's gonna call that back and have him reset that. That was real close on the timing. He was about 0.2 of a second off is all. The 8-man for St. Thomas, that is a big man. He got that ball in the back. Tried taking him for a ride, but defense by Iowa Central was on point. Looks like an offsides penalty for Iowa Central. Advantage St. Thomas. We're back 10 by blue there. It looks like they're going to attempt for post again. Try to get on the scoreboard here. If they convert successfully, it will be the first points scored against Iowa Central in a league match this year. That conversion was successful. It is 33-3. Tritons advantage. After a score, the defensive team kicks the kickoff.
That's the last points I get.
Kickoff is booming by Matthew Barker. Willie Veal and a few others were on pursuit there. Instead, they just elected to make the tackle, which actually looks like it turned into a maul. And the ball got out. It's kind of sloppy right now. It is St. Thomas possession, and when it's all said and done, though, they're going to take the ball into contact on the near side. All right, we got us a foot chase here. St. Thomas kicked the ball downfield. It's a little ways here. It was stripped out. Mike Wilden scooped that up. He's taking it for a ride. It was a whole lot of... Okay, all right. Well, we got a lot of excitement for halftime. We're good. We're good. 33 to 3 going into half. Tritons advantage. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little hostile out here for halftime. I'm not sure what's going on, but both teams are gonna go to their respective sides. They're gonna talk about first half, make some adjustments if that's needed, and we'll be back about 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, we just want to give another shout out to our sponsors. We do have today's broadcast of Triton Rugby sponsored by Daniel Pharmacy. They are located in downtown Fort Dodge, family owned since 1968. In 2000, Daniel's Pharmacy featured a Script Pro robot, adding automation, efficiency, and greater safety to all their patrons. Daniel's also provides home health care aids, health screenings, and flu shots. Stop in and visit the well-trained staff for Daniel's Pharmacy on Central Avenue in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Scoring recap for the first half. For Iowa Central, the scrum half Richard put a try in. Ani, he is the center, number 12. He put in 2 tries. TT, number 13, getting his first start of the day, put in a try. And Willie Veal, the wing, put in a try as well. Matthew Barker is 4 for 5 on conversions, racking up 8 points of his own. 33-3 is the halftime score right now. The second half of Iowa Central Community College Triton Rugby versus St. Thomas University. The score is 33-3. First second half is about to kick off right now. St. Thomas did finish the first half with some momentum there. So we'll see how they come out in the second half, and we'll see how Iowa Central responds to it. It appears that Iowa Central is probably going to kick to the far side of the field, most likely. That's where they're overloaded at. We're just waiting on JJ to... JJ is the sir. Waiting on JJ to give the signal here. And here we go. Another high booming kick by Matthew Barker. Gives his defense to get time to get set, get down there, and stop the momentum right away. It is going to be a penalty against Iowa Central. Looks like a not rolling away. Not rolling away in the ruck, not releasing the player. St. Thomas broke the gain line there. Had a nice run. Unfortunately led to a ball handling error. Iowa Central is on the counter, and Willie Veal with the wheels. He's going to try to get it down. He had a great offload to Elliot Baz. Elliot Baz is going to pop to Izzy, who is drug out of bounds. It is going to be a St. Thomas line out. And St. Thomas appears to be sticking with their two-man line-out plan. Looks like we had a sub at halftime. Mitch subbed in for Nathan Heath, it appears. All right, Vanya sniffed that one out. Took that ball out of mid-air. Victor Wong got the offload from Vanya. A strong clearing in the ruck by Vanya. Great run on the outside here. Great play, great continuity. Just caught the St. Thomas off guard there with the ball spinning out. Matt Barker got the ball off to Ani Mateo, who just stepped down and put the ball down for another try. It's going to be 38-0 before the conversion attempt here. That was about a minute and a half into the second half here. Matthew Barker, he is our fly half, he is our team leader, he is our captain, and he is the kicker of the day. Right down the center, slotted. Gonna be sitting at 40-0, 4-0 to. I'm sorry, not 0, 3. 4-0-3. Iowa Central advantage. St. Thomas was attempting to get a quick kick off of the kickoff there, and unfortunately the kickoff does have to go 10 meters off a drop kick. I only got it about 5. It's going to be a scrum down to Iowa Central at center field. Another substitution. It looks like Zachary Schott is coming out of the match. He did a great job at number 4 today. And we have Trent Schwabe, who is also featured on B-side match. Trent Schwabe is going in the A-side match here. He's looking to make an impact right. Looks like a penalty was awarded to Iowa Central against St. Thomas. Matt Barker is kind of against the wind here, so we'll see what he's going to choose to do. It looks like he's going to kick for touch, gain some field position. That ball stayed in, though. It was a knock-on off of an attempt. It's going to be a scrum advantage to Iowa Central. Nothing came out of that tackle in that ruck, so it is going to just be a scrum down to Iowa Central here. Eight-man pick, got it off the scrum half right away. Ani Mateto, number 12, running strong. Broke a couple arm tackles, jotted in. 45-3 before conversion attempt here. Ani is very impressive today. He's got 4 tries so far. You know he's going to be hungry for some more. 45-3. Looks like Richard, the scrum half, he's going to take over kicking duties for a minute. Richard slotted it, and he bounced it right off of a brand new Kia. So that was almost a very expensive 2 points if that would have went through the windshield there. Fortunately, it didn't. We are sitting at 42-3 after the successful conversion attempt by Richard. I think I actually mistold you the score. We're sitting at 47-3. That kickoff was attempted to be caught in the air by Kamani. Didn't quite get it, but the ball went backwards, so it's play on. St. Thomas recovered, and that is where we're sitting at right now. St. Thomas with some strong rucking and ball carrying. Honestly, their back line is strong. They're breaking quite a few tackles. Looks like a not releasing penalty against the defense. Iowa Central needs to get back 10, and St. Thomas is going to have the advantage currently. Looks like they're electing to go with pods. It's going to be a penalty advantage. That was a no wrap on the tackle attempt there. He pretty much just put a shoulder into him. Didn't even try to throw his arm across. Try awarded to St. Thomas. That's the first try scored on Iowa Central in a conference match this year. Looks like the substitute tie head prop, Mitch, is being spoken to by the referee for that no wrap on the attempt. He's trying to justify it, but JJ's having none of it. To be fair, he is from Australia, and he has played Aussie rules most of his life, so, you know, it's no excuse, but most of his career he didn't have to wrap. Fortunately, here in America, we like safety, so he's going to get talking to, and he's going to fix that. Conversion attempt unsuccessful. That ball went wide left. I believe we're sitting at 47-8 points currently. 47-8. Iowa Central advantage. I believe we have a fly half sub out. Ali Muhammad, who also played in the B-side match, was a tackling powerhouse. He's coming in at fly half for Matthew Barker. And off the kickoff, Ani Mateto had a booming kick sky high, gave time for his players to get down there. They tipped that ball backwards. They retained possession. St. Thomas had a great counter ruck, though, and they took it from him, the Tritons. We have another substitution. I'm not sure who came out, but Jarek Fisher is on the field now. Keep an eye on him. He's number 18. When he gets the ball, he runs like a freaking freight train. It does look like a penalty against Iowa Central. Penalty against Iowa Central. JJ is calling time. He's just speaking with the captain. Elliot Baz is taking over captain duties once Matt Barker came off the pitch. St. Thomas elects to tap and go. And Jarek Fisher read that pass, picked it off, and took it in for a try. Try time for Iowa Central. That's going to bring us up to 53-8 before the conversion attempt here. Looks like Ani's going to get a attempt at conversion for post here. Get some more points for him. Looks like Elliot Baz is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Benjamin Hale, number 27, I believe. Ani Mateto lining up the kick. Looks like it went wide right. Wide right on that conversion, unsuccessful. Looks like they're clicking to the near side of the field. St. Thomas is going to try to kick to, oh, nope, they're just trying to get some confusion out there. Iowa Central was ready for that, though. That ball went straight out, it appears. Straight out. It's going to lead to an Iowa Central scrum down at center field. It's going to be a scrum down to St. Thomas here.
Not releasing the ball, sir.
Looks like a scrum advantage to Iowa Central. That ball got out real quick out of the scrum there. A fantastic kick by the fullback. Fantastic kick by the fullback down the line here. The ball came out of the scrum very quickly. They got that ball clear out down the line to fullback who inserted in the wing position. He booted that. Our center, Ani Mateto, chasing that ball down, taking it in for an easy try.
What's his last name?
We're sitting at 57-8 before the conversion attempt here. Conversion attempt going back to Richard again. Richard needs to get this kickoff or he's going to run out of time. It's quite a distance though. No good, but it was a pretty solid attempt there. He was maybe a meter or two off the post is all. That was a difficult kick though. It was from inside the 5 meter in the touch line. Quite an angle. We remain at 57-8 here. That ball is slapped out by St. Thomas out of Iowa Central's hands, so it is a scrum advantage to St. Thomas here. There's been great counter-rucking all day long. No scrum advantage to St. Thomas there. Clayton Goddard would have picked that ball and taken it in for possession. But there was a scrum advantage, so it's going to bring it back. Sitting about the 40-meter line, center of the field. St. Thomas is going to have the scrum on. You raise it if somebody's offside, you keep it down at least.
You got shoved, and then the other guy comes from the side and shoved you over. And you got so pissed. I'm sitting there like, throw hands. Nate, throw hands. I'm right there.
That scrum got blown up right away. Some dangerous play. A lot of men on the field laying down. We do like to keep the safety of the players in mind. So when something like that happens and the ball is not already out, we kill that and we start over.
Let's go.
I'm trying really hard to not go around your
Iowa Central with another big push. Another big push. Some ball handling errors. Iowa Central had a nice run down the sideline there. Great movement in between the defense. A pass was, looks like the first knock was missed. They're going to call the second one off of Iowa Central. So it's going to be a scrum down to St. Thomas here on the 5-meter line here. St. Thomas is craving a try. They have a lot of field to work with right now, so if they're going to do it, now's the time. It is quite a windy day out here. It's hard to control the ball in the midair, though. Iowa Central has spun the scrum quite a bit today. They need to find the equal balance on their push so they can gain possession of the ball rather than just giving a re-scrum to the opposition here. Great effort, though, all around. Great effort in the scrums. This is a much better push here. Iowa Central took that, drove that for, I don't know, probably 8 meters, quite a ways to finally get the ball on our side. Hands all the way out, got the ball to Gervini, who offloads to Jarek Fisher. Jarek Fisher's going to trot that down. He's going to get second try on the day here. Great work. That was all set up by Gervini, though. He had a great run, hard line, took that ball for, I don't know, 20-plus meters, went down, and just an incredible offload, and Jarek Fisher fought for that try. We're going to be sitting at 62-8 before the conversion attempt here. We do have a player for St. Thomas down, though. He's down right under the post on the try line. It appears to be something with his leg. Our incredible trainer, McKenna, is out there. She's taking care of him. She's been a big asset to this team, keeping our guys healthy the best anybody can, for sure. She has been very good to the opposition when they're here as well. Richard with another slotted conversion. That's going to bring us to 64 to 8 points. That injured player, he appears to be able to shake that off. Fortunately, I'm glad he's okay. We're going to get back to playing some more rugby here. Kickoff by St. Thomas goes pretty deep. Mike Wilden recovers that. He's shredding the defense pretty well here. He took that from inside the 22 out to the 45. It was stripped from him, though.
Caleb, you got to raise the flag.
There was a little confusion on what happened there. The touchline flag came up kind of late there. They are going to play the line out, though. It's going to be a line out to Iowa Central. Looks like they're going 6. Iowa Central is electing to go with a 6-man line out on this one. That ball was won by Trent Schwabe in the air. Passed out to the backs. TT took that into contact. Ali Muhammad with a great pass out to the fullback inserting the back line, and he just offloaded to Gervini, who's going to take that in. Looks like a 360 try. I'm not sure what happened there. I haven't seen that one in a minute, but that was beautiful. He's just having fun. Tritons are just having fun out there. That was a great try by Gervini there. We're going to have Richard, the scrum half. He's going to kick for post right in front. Looked like a quick kick and a quick conversion. 2 more points on the field for scoreboard for him. St. Thomas is calling for a kick to the left. They're all inserted pretty center, though, and that's where the ball goes, is to the center.
Go ahead, Noah.
Sloppy play in the ruck there, and the tackle. Looks like the ball popped out. St. Thomas advantage. St. Thomas possession, not advantage. Great counter rucking by Iowa Central, though. Vanya getting in there, picking that up, but some awesome pushes, awesome drives. Ben Hale wants to take that ball into contact. He offloads to Victor Wong. Jarek Fisher got that ball, made some contact, and took that guy for another 5 meters. Iowa Central's hungry. They want another try. Stiff arm Ben in the house. Offloads to Quentin Jones. He gets a stiff arm of his own. He's got some support. He tried to get it to him. That ball was picked off mid-air by St. Thomas. St. Thomas got tackled. They offloaded. Didn't quite get it. It's going to be a penalty advantage for not releasing. Penalty advantage to Iowa Central. St. Thomas not releasing the ball on the ground. It appears Richard is going to kick for touch downfield now. Try to gain some field position. He gains him about 15 meters. It's going to be a scrum out to blue here. Successful scrum out by the line out by the Tritons. Got the ball off the top, send it out to the back line. TT takes that one into contact. St. Thomas isn't giving up today, though. They're counter-rucking everything. And they're great pursuit by some forwards led to Iowa Central getting a tackle. Jarek Fisher. Jarek Fisher is craving a hat trick, and he got it. Some great defensive structure. Came in, big hits, good counter-rucking, pop that ball out. That's another try for the Tritons here. Looks like Ali Muhammad is taking over kicking duty now. That conversion was unsuccessful. It is going to remain 78-8. Yeah, 78-8 is the score here. 78-8. St. Thomas with the kickoff. That's a nice kick. It was high enough. It only went 10 or 12 meters there. Victor Wan did receive that ball, though. Take it into contact. Great rucking by the Tritons. Strong counter rucking. That 8-man for St. Thomas. He's been a powerhouse today. He runs hard. He's been rucking very well for them as well. Mitch, tight head prop. Acting like a back, running lines, trying to get the ball out. He's a strong runner. Unfortunately, that pass was not directed where it was intended. Did not get to where it was intended to go. There's the number 8 for St. Thomas again. That was a strong run. it's great continuity. It doesn't matter what your position is like that. That is our tight head prop. He's running like a gazelle. Prop should not run like that, but they do on this team. It's one of the keys to success. Jarek Fisher, freight train, coming in there, dodging one tackle with a spin move, running straight into contact. They were able to hold him up on that one, though. It's going to be a scrum advantage to St. Thomas. We're going to have another injury time here. Take a second to recognize some of our sponsors. Today's broadcast of Triton Rugby is actually sponsored by Daniel Pharmacy, located in downtown Fort Dodge. Family owned since 1968. In 2000, Daniel's Pharmacy featured a Script Pro robot, adding automation, efficiency, and greater safety to all the patrons. Daniel's also provides home healthcare aids, health screenings, and flu shots. Stop in and visit the well-trained staff of Daniel's Pharmacy on Citra Avenue in Fort Dodge, Iowa. Injury was taken care of, got him off the field, thankfully. Walked off on his own accord. That's always good to see. Safety is the #1 priority in these matches. Scrum down to St. Thomas in about the 40-meter line. St. Thomas got the ball out. It looks like an advantage to St. Thomas. Something the Sir did not like in the ruck there. There's a knock by St. Thomas. It's going to go back to the original penalty advantage. Iowa Central needs to get back 10. St. Thomas tapping and going. They're going to try to put one in here, it looks like. Ball handling error on the pass led to a knock on. It's going to be Iowa Central scrum down advantage. Looks like we're sitting at about 7 minutes remaining in this match, not counting any injury time. It appears Iowa Central is putting in another reserve player, Brandon Hartman, getting his first start for the varsity side, or not start, but first playing time for the varsity side. Brandon Hartman in the B side last week at St. John's. B-side last week at St. John's. Brandon Hartman really made his impact felt. He had great tackling, great ball handling. He just seemed to control the game when he was in there. He earned his spot today on his reserve squad. Iowa Central got a quick line out in. And hands down the back line inserted by the fullback. Ben Holman took that into contact. Great counter ruck by St. Thomas there. It's going to be a penalty advantage to St. Thomas, playing on the ground. Just a desperate struggle to try and not give up possession of that ball. And then making contact without being back 10 meters. Got him another 10 meters here for another penalty. Looks like they're going to bang this ball in. And Iowa Central is going to meet them about 2 meters past the gain line is all. Ball handling error in the back line by St. Thomas. And a team tackle by Iowa Central. Great smack. He got the pass out already, but Trent Schwabe made him pay for waiting so long to pass that ball out. Great hands by the forwards. And we're going to have our fullback in our – oh, that looked like an extremely high clothesline by St. Thomas player there. It's going to be a penalty advantage to Iowa Central. Logan Atkinson, reserve scrum half. He looked like he wanted to tap and go. The ref's going to slow it down. He's going to call time. We got a lot of players down just trying to catch a breath right now.
You guys score, I'll give you some water.
Y'all score, I'll give you something else wet.
Let's get it.
Iowa Central chose to kick for touch on the penalty, and it's going to be a line out to Iowa Central. Benjamin Hale with the throw. He likes that front pod. Trent Schwabe with the reserve lock coming in. Taking every line out that's came his way. Damian in the back line, reserve player as well. He had that ball stripped from him by a very intense St. Thomas defense. They're still fighting. Victor Wong scooped that ball up. We got Mike Wilden. Mike Wilden's turning the corner. He's going to score a try if he can get away from the defense. Outran him. Dove in. Chuck went up for Mike Wilden. He's had a great performance today. Tackling. Every time he touches the ball, he makes some magic. Victor Wong with the incredible scoop in the back line, though. Cleaning that up. He set that up. Give props to that tight head prop who has been in all game. Switched to loose head once the other guy came in. It's just been successful in every aspect so far today. Speaking of tight head props, Mitch, our tight head prop on the reserve side for this match, he's going to try to slot a couple points for himself here. Put 2 more on the board for the Tritons. And he kicks it for about 40 meters, but it is 40 meters wide right of the post. And that is going to be match. 81. 81-8 is your final score here. 8-1 to 8. Fantastic match for the Tritons today. And St. Thomas came out, and they had to have been the toughest opponents that we faced so far in conference play. So with a tradition of rugby, the handshaking that comes in here, the losing team forms a tunnel for the victorious team. That is why you see St. Thomas on both sides of Iowa Central right now, and Iowa Central going straight down the center. It's just a tradition in the rugby world. It's just like cheering at the end of a match, kind of a hip hip hooray thing. It's just tradition is what it is. It's a sign of respect. It's the friendliest, most aggressive game you will probably ever see or play in your life. It's beautiful. Before we sign off here, we're just going to give one more shout out to our sponsors. Today's broadcast of Triton Rugby is sponsored in part by Daniel Pharmacy, located in downtown Fort Dodge. Family owned since 1968. In 2000, Daniel's Pharmacy features a Script Pro robot, adding automation, efficiency, and greater safety to all their patients. Daniel's also provides home health care aids, health screenings, and flu shots. Stop in and visit the well-trained staff of Daniel's Pharmacy on Central Avenue in Fort Dodge, Iowa. They'll take care of you for all your script needs. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to Triton Nation. They have a Triton Nation channel on YouTube. Be sure to check them out for all your Triton activities. We appreciate you watching the match today.